Recently, I've released videos saying Japanese was a grind, or even more crazy, that it's okay to quit Japanese.
It's okay to quit Japanese. If you don't need it and you lost the desire to learn it, it's okay to quit.
Why on earth would a person selling the dream of Japanese fluency say such negative things about the very thing he's trying to promote?
It is actually really, honestly hard to get to this point. This is hard. If you get this, congratulations.
I promise you my negativity isn't a clickbait strategy to get more YouTube views. For YouTube views, I buy drones, threaten to smash ceramic fish, and eat cat treats with my cat Yuki.
Yuki, we're gonna start with what Daddy wanted to eat. This is the beef and chicken entree. I gotta say, it smells good. It smells great.
I still enjoy occasional treat with her. Reminisce about the days when I used to choose. Oh my God, that part is hard.
Terrible that I didn't remember my lines, that I'm wasting everyone's time.
In case you didn't already know, when it comes to learning Japanese, I'm a realist. If not me, then who else?
Japanese is so easy.
Japanese is so easy.
Introducing yourself is easy.
Navigating the passport desk. Buying train tickets. Exchanging contact information.
Describing where you're from. In Japanese is easy.
Japanese is easy.
I, just like most of the people watching my videos, sincerely love Japanese language.
I really love Japanese.
But it would be a disservice to you if I told you that learning Japanese was easy. What I can tell you is that learning Japanese was one of the best things to happen to me ever. And I know countless other people whose lives have been enriched significantly with Japanese.
Japanese changed my life, even from age 12. It made it richer.
Learning Japanese has had a way bigger impact on my life than actually moving to Japan. Going through the process of learning the Japanese language, being able to communicate and think in this language and understand a different way of thinking has had a far bigger impact on me than actually just moving here and living in this country.
I'm so glad I learned Japanese. Japanese changed my life. I made amazing friends, connections. My best friends I met because I learned Japanese. I made lots of new friends that are my best friends as well, and I met all of them because of Japanese.
Learning Japanese gave me literally everything I have that makes me happy. But it was not easy. Even now, 40 years after I saw my first hiragana, Japanese still often stresses me out.
Makes you want to punch yourself in the head sometimes.
Despite my career as a simultaneous interpreter, living in Japan for nearly a decade as a child, and being married to a Japanese woman for almost 30 years, I still get punched in the face by Japanese. I think the best thing that I can do to help you realize your dream of learning Japanese is first actually teach you Japanese. But also, I feel that it's important to properly peg your expectations to reality. If you know that part of the journey will be frustration and pain, then maybe you won't quit when those pains are knocking on your front door. And trust me, it will knock just as certainly as the fact that land sharks exist.
Who is it?
Land shark.
Come on in and have a root beer.
Close your eyes for a minute and imagine you had an app on your phone called Japanese Fluency Now that guaranteed you would be fluent in Japanese if you use the app according to its instructions. There are just 3 instructions. Number 1, every time you make a funny or embarrassing mistake speaking Japanese, you have to make an entry into the mistake log. Number 2, every time you feel like quitting, get depressed, or scream in frustration about Japanese, you have to make an entry into the frustration log. And finally, every time you have a Japanese conversation or an experience where you learn something new, you make an entry into the discovery log. The catch with this rule is that the discovery doesn't have to be about Japanese language. For example, one discovery might be, 裏庭でよく見かけるカタツムリには14000の歯があります。I was actually more shocked when I learned オーストラリアの幅が4000キロぐらいで、月の幅が、直径が3400キロなんだけども、オーストラリアの方が広い。Shocking, right? In that mythical app, there are 1,000 entries for each of the logs. So if you knew that in order to get fluent in Japanese, you needed to make just 1,000 mistakes, be frustrated 1,000 times, and make 1,000 discoveries in Japanese, wouldn't you be excited for each log entry? The truth is, this app lives inside our mind. And although the numbers may vary, each log entry that you make brings you closer to fluency in Japanese. Your road from 0 to fluency in Japanese will be filled with these log entries. These entries are absolutely required to get to my level, or anyone that's fluent in Japanese. With that in mind, let's leave from the outside and go to the inside where the studio is and learn more words that you can add to your entries.
From Zero あなたをゼロからペラペラまで導きます。
All right, we're only going to learn maybe 5-6 words, but initially, but there's going to be a lot of bonus words once we go through the deep dive. So you're going to want to get your notebooks ready. And again, this might take some time. Hopefully not too much time. Let's do it. First, let's look at the short version of what we're going to cover today. and then we'll do the deep dive at the end.
何歳とは言いませんが、自分と同年代なのは確信しました。
今日の気分でいくと同年代。同い年って意味じゃなくて同年代。
その大親友っていうのが男性なんです。
職場の同僚にあなたは明日世界が滅びるとしても歯磨きをしそうって言われたことがあります。
高校の同級生の高橋君の自転車のサドルを盗むとか。
その救助活動の様子を見守っていたのは70代の男性の高校の同級生。
なんだ、お前の知り合いなのか。
僕の知り合い、友達に脳幹視をやってる方がいて、
もう10年以上前なんですけど、同僚が殺害されたらしいんですね。
That last one's a little bit deep, and we're gonna go long on that last one. All right, let's look at these words. First word is a word you all should know, tomodachi. We should all know tomodachi. It means friend. You probably learned this in book 1, I believe. It's super easy, tomodachi, a friend. And next one, shinyu. Now, shinyu is best friend or a close friend. It's written with the character for shitashi, which means close, and tomo, which is read in this word as you, shinyu, best friend. Shiriai, maybe someone claims to be your friend, but they're not your friend. They're your shiriai. And acquaintance. This is to know and to match or to meet. So know and meet. Doesn't mean you're friends. You're just an acquaintance. Dokyusei. The kanji here is same rank student. Gakusei is student, right? Daigakusei is college student, right? This is your big hint. Dokyusei, same grade student, classmate. Now you have to be in the same class for this to work. You can't just be in the same school. You can't just be in the same grade. It's your classmate. So it's dokyusei. Doryo. Now doryo is interesting. It means same dorm. Same dorm. What does that mean? Co-worker or colleague. Now, you might not know this, but a lot of Japanese people working in companies live in a company dorm. I'm not sure if that's how that word came about, but I know quite a few people that until they got married lived in a company dorm. Hey guys, George from the future. Gold hat is always from the future. I was just editing this video and it's like 4 a.m. and I was so done and I was getting ready to release it and I just found this mistake. That ryo does not mean dorm. Ryo does mean dorm, but it's the wrong kanji. This is the kanji from doryo, and you can see here it's consortship and colleague. One part of the kanji is similar and the rest is not. So I got confused by that, which happens a lot. Kanji will do that to you, especially since they have the same reading. Now, a lot of kanjis will have parts in them and borrow the sound from that part. I'm guessing that's probably what happened because this one and this one mean different things. This is consort / colleague, and this is dorm. I'm sincerely sorry, back to your long video where you got to grind a lot, but please watch to the end. A lot of effort goes into this, even these mistakes. Doryo, all right? And donendai. Donendai is literally same age. What does dai mean? Change? This is like kawaru. Same year change, maybe? But this is someone that is the same generation as you. Okay, within like the same 10 years. All right, let's get some sentences in. 知り合いが大阪に住んでいます。知り合いが大阪に住んでいます。This should be easy for you guys in Japanese from Zero Book 4, which is, by the way, where these words come from. I normally have the book over here and I forgot. But this is from Japanese from Zero Book 4, guys. Or from zero.com, course 4, lesson 13. 知り合いが大阪に住んでいます。Someone is living in Osaka. Who is it? My acquaintance. My acquaintance lives in Osaka. 浅香唯と私は高校の同級生です。でした。I read that wrong. でした。Now, this is not true, but it's a dream of mine that I wish was true. Asaka Yui is an 80s idol who was my 100% inspiration for learning Japanese. I loved her more than any other Japanese girl in existence. If you have time, go check her out. Now, I will say retroactively, she's not my favorite anymore. Now, I'm kind of thinking it's Nakamori Akina. An amazing singer. But what if this was true? What if Asaka Yui to watashi wa koukou no doukyusei deshita? That would be amazing. Asaka Yui and I were classmates in high school. Now, the reality is there were many cute girls in my class and none of them were into me. So probably Asaka Yui would just be one of those other girls that wasn't into me. So this would actually be very, very sad for me, most likely. Because at least when she's not my dokyusei, when she's not in my classmate, I can dream. But I can't dream if she's there. So let's scratch this whole concept. Moving on. 私は同年代の友達がいません。This is kind of true for me. 私は同年代の友達がいません。Now, 友達がいません alone is very sad, right? Like, I don't have friends. But we're not saying we don't have friends. We're saying a certain type of friends we don't have. I don't have friends of the same generation. I have a friend, Nick. He's young. Actually, I have Kathy. Kathy's my age. I got a few. Okay, you know what? I have 同年代の友達がいます. I do have them. Do you? Do you let me know? 同僚の中村さんは東京に転勤になりました。同僚の中村さんは東京に転勤になりました。Do you remember this verb? 転勤になる? It means to get transferred, to be transferred. Okay? If you are 転勤になる, it means it's not your choice. You're not transferring on your own decision. It's someone else made the decision. Because if you were going to transfer on your own, you would say 転勤をする. But this is 転勤になりました. Became transferred. So, 同僚の中村さんは東京に転勤になりました means my coworker or colleague Nakamura-san was transferred to Tokyo. This can happen in Japan. All right. All right. You ready for a test? Test time. Now, we're going to do the test a little bit different this time. For the first time, I think forever, I don't think we've ever done this. I'm going to give you the hint in Japanese, and you're going to figure out what word we're talking about. Okay. It'll be a little bit of a exercise for your comprehension skills. Here's the possible answers. We have 知り合い、友達、同年代、同僚、親友、and 同級生. Here we go. 友達じゃないけど知ってる人. This is what we're defining. What one of these words means 友達じゃないけど知ってる人. Now I need you to translate this. I need you to understand this. You don't have to translate it if you don't want to. You just keep Japanese in your head. That's fine. But for those of you that need to see the English, this is what this means. 友達じゃないけど not a friend, but 知ってる人, someone you know. 知ってる人 means a person you know. What is that? Is it 友達? No, because it says right here. It says right here. 友達じゃない. Okay. 同僚? 同年代? It's definitely not 親友. It's 知り合い, an acquaintance. 知り合い. That is the answer. All right, next one. 同じ会社で働いている人。同じ会社で働いている人。Ending with 人。A person that what? A person that 働く works 同じ会社で at the same company. Is it 知り合い? Could be. Like someone working at the same company could be just an acquaintance, could be also a tomodachi. They could be your friend. They could even be donendai. They could be shinyu. They absolutely could. They could be even dokyusei, coincidentally. But they are most accurately 同僚. 同僚 is a coworker or a colleague, and that's the definition. A person that works at the same company. Okay. 同じクラスにいる人. 同じクラスにいる人. What type of person is it? A person in the same class. Okay? That could be an acquaintance, yes. Could be a friend, yes. But out of all the things they could be, because literally they could be all of these, they are most accurately 同級生. Your classmate, okay? 同級生. All right? This one right here. 一番の友達. 一番の友達. It's pretty easy, right? We all know 一番. 一番 means number one, but when it's used in this way, 一番 no something something, it can mean the best. Okay? So your best friend. 一番の友達 is he's my number one friend. That is 親友. That's either close friend or best friend, but this would never be a 知り合い. An acquaintance would never be your best friend. Okay? Number one friend. 同じ10年間に生まれた人. Out of all of those we did, this is the most complicated clue. You might have noticed in a few of these, we're using all of this. Actually, I think all of them we're doing it. We're modifying person with an entire verb phrase. All right. So what kind of person is this? 同じ10年間 means a same 10-year period in the same 10-year period 生まれた was born person. A person born in the same 10-year period is 同年代. 同年代. Nen is your clue because it's 10 years, right? And remember Q and sei. Q means rank and sei is student, so that's a good clue there. 親友. Hopefully you know that tomodachi can be read as you. Those are all good hints. And if you know that ryo is a dorm, you can say same dorm for colleague. All right. Are we ready? I believe we're at the final. I had one more. Sorry. I am a huge liar. I am a uso o tsuku hito, a person who lies. Usotsuki. There's your new word. Put that in your notes. Usotsuki. Liar. All right. お互いに好きな人. お互いに好きな人. Now, you probably don't know this word, お互いに. お互い means mutual. And when you have the ni after it, it makes it an adverb. Mutually 好きな人. Mutually, people who like each other, 友達. So this means people that you like mutually. Okay? They like each other mutually. Okay? All right. Now I think theoretically we're going to go to Japanese. Yes. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take those YouTubers that we just looked at and we're going to really expand the conversation. It's ridiculous how much we're going to expand some of this conversation just for one word. But you will need to take notes. There are a lot of good words and a lot of good grammar that you might pick up from this. Let's do it.
何歳とは言いませんが、自分と同年代なのは確信しました。
All right. 何歳とは言いませんが、自分と同年代なのは確信しました。I won't say how old I am, but 確信 is the new word here. I have confirmed that we are the same generation. Now, let me give you the context. This is a HoloLive character. It's a person speaking and this character moves with them. They're trying to figure out, I'm guessing, her age. I didn't watch the whole stream. I just watched the part where they used the words that I was looking for. And so someone commented, I won't say the age, my age most likely, but I can say that with myself, that you are 同年代. We have to assume that she's the topic because that's what he's talking about. And let's look this word up, 確信. So, I guess not, what did I say? Confirmed? Okay, it's, I'm confident, believe, 確信する is a little bit more than just the noun itself. Convinced. I'm confident that you are in the same 10-year gap.
確信しないで。
Don't be confident.
気軽な確信、それ正しいかわからない確信でしょ？
Her voice is so cute, honestly. If you want to really hear some great sounding Japanese, go to Ichijo Ririka's channel.
確信、それ
Kigaruna kakushin is like a light confidence. Shinaide. She's like, don't be confident so lightly, is what she's saying. それ正しいかわからない確信でしょ? That's a belief that we're not sure if it is correct. We did this grammar in book 4. それ正しいかわからない. Not sure if it's correct.
正しいかわからない確信でしょ？
今日の気分でいくと同年代。同い年って意味じゃなくて同年代。
Let me give you a little bit of background, and I apologize for this because I don't research the channels until later. I just look for the words that they're using. This is another one of those channels that some of you might not want to go to. I'm going to say something that if you have children in the room, maybe just for the next 10 seconds, don't let them hear this. I'm sorry. The name of this video was 旦那さんを愛していますが, which means I do love my husband, but that was the name of the video. And the thumbnail was something, I think it was exactly this. 46歳の人妻とやりました. 46歳 is her age. の人妻. 人妻 means person's wife. と with a person's wife who's 46. やりました means I did it. I did it with a 46-year-old person's wife. And this channel, upon researching it after this, is filled with Japanese wives, I believe, that want to do things with other people. So she says, 今日の気分でいくと, if I go on my feelings today, 同年代, same 10-year generation, yeah, same generation. And here's a new word for us, 同い年. Onai, not 同じ, onai. 同い年 means same age って意味じゃなくて, not meaning the same age, but the同年代, the same generation.
今日の気分でいくと同年代。同い年って意味じゃなくて同年代。40代、50代でもいいですけど。
40代、まあ50代でもいいですけど, a keyword I want to keep our eyes on for this entire segment of us going through these YouTube videos is this ma word. It's just a pause word. Ma, yeah, like it's a pause word. It doesn't mean anything. Ma, it's a thought word, okay? So she says 40代, that's 40s, ma, or yeah, maybe like 50代, 50s, でもいいですけど would also be okay. Meaning because she is, according to the video thumbnail, 46, she wants to be 40s, but yeah, the ma kind of throws, but yeah, 50s would be okay too.
それなんで同年代ぐらいが?
それなんで同年代ぐらいが? Why around the same generation is what she wants. He doesn't actually repeat what she said. He wants to know, why are you wanting to go with the same generation?
その若い時って質より量みたいな。
This is a great thing that she said. Again, maybe this particular YouTuber isn't the one we want to watch with children, but she says, 若い時って質より量みたいな. When you are young. Now, when this te right here is like, she's just setting up her topic. So like, when you're young, 若い時って, and then everything after that is going to be about it. That te, this te, is so similar to a wa. It's like, 若い時は, when you're younger. She could have said wa, but she's getting ready to tell you, and that she chose to use te. 若い時って質より more than quality 量みたいな. It's like more than quality, you want 量, an amount. This is not the same 量 as dorm, it's a different kanji. This means amount of. So you want amounts more than quality when you're younger. She doesn't say what she's talking about, but we all know she's talking about male-female relations in this particular case.
でも年を重ねると質を大事にする。
でも年を重ねると質を大事にする. So でも but 年を重ねる, 年 means year or age, right? So your 年を重ねる. 重ねる means to stack. When you have stacked some years, meaning when you get older, 質を大事にする. You make quality more important.
救いある階段やなって思ったんでちょっと紹介させていただきたいんですけども。
All right, let's back that up. 救いある階段. Now, if you've only heard the word 階段, you might think it means stairs. But let me show you that stairs is a different kanji. 階段. Okay, this is the kanji for that, okay? Stairs. But if we scroll down one, watch this. 階段 also means talks. This is the 階段right here. Ghost story or tales of the supernatural. That's what he's talking about. 救いのある or 救いある階段 just means that there's something good about that. 救いある is, what's a good way to translate that? 救いある. There's something redeeming about it, I guess. Salvation, solace, comfort, saving grace, help, rescue, aid, relief. There's something about this particular ghost story is going to actually be good. Okay. Normally ghost stories are scary. So, 救いある階段やなって思ったんで, because I thought this was a ghost story that had some redemption in it or some good feelings in it. And he's going to continue that. But I want you to know that because he's saying yana, we know he is using some version of Kansai dialect. Remember, Kansai dialect is 1/6 of Japan. Okay? And I don't know if that includes the sub-dialects of Kansai, but I have a feeling it does because a lot of prefectures have Kansai dialect sounding dialects with slight differences, okay? To me, most of the time I just like, oh yeah, that's Kansai dialect. But sometimes it's like Kansai dialect plus a slight variation of it makes that Ehime dialect or some other, I don't know if it's called Ehime dialect, but it's those type of things. And if you want to look at Kansai dialect, remember, we have a whole free video course up on From Zero. I mean, not free. If you're a member, if you're a paying member of the website at FromZero.com, you can go through 21 videos teaching Kansai dialect. If you're advanced Japanese, you definitely want to do that. All right. So he thinks that this is a ghost story that will have some value, salvation, solace, comfort.
思ったんでちょっと紹介させていただきたいんです。
Now, this way that he said this, ちょっと紹介させていただきたいんですけども, is a very, very Japanese way of saying, so I thought I would introduce it. But he's saying, ちょっと to soften. Either he's softening or saying a bit he will introduce. 紹介する means to introduce, but 紹介させていただきたい means I want to be allowed to introduce this, which we don't say that type of thing in English, but Japanese people, when they're being polite, they're asking everyone permission for everything. He doesn't necessarily mean that. That is just the formalities of Japanese. You have to understand, when someone says to you a Japanese phrase that sounds super high level, if you direct translate it, you might think, oh my gosh, what are they thinking about me? Nothing. They're not thinking about anything. They're just saying Japanese that is proper in that moment, right? So for example, like in America, if you go somewhere, sometimes the guy that is like giving your car a wash or something like that might say, all right, no problem, boss. Yeah, theoretically you're his boss, but he doesn't really mean that. That's just how he shows respect to you.
まあこの方ですね、女性の方なんですけども。
この方ですね、女性の方なんですけども、this person, now remember, 方 is a polite way to say person. You could have said, この人ですね、女性の人なんですけども、女性の人 would have worked well, but it is not as polite. 女性の方なんですけども、she's a woman.
大親友がいらっしゃったんですね。
大親友がいらっしゃったんですね。She had, いらっしゃる is the polite way. We learned that in the very beginning of this book. いらっしゃる is one way to substitute the verb いる, to have, to exist. So she had a best friend, but they have modified this. 大親友 means like amazing friend, okay? So, and she had an amazing friend.
大親友がいらっしゃったんですね。その大親友っていうのが男性。
その大親友っていうのは、and this person that we're calling her 大親友が男性なんです。is a male.
なんです。で、当時23歳の頃にですね。
当時 is a great word. It means, and at that time, 23歳の頃にですね、around when she was 23 years old, probably that friend was 23 years old.
その大親友が不慮の事故で。
大親友がthere's that 不慮の事故で. So 事故 is an accident. 不慮 is like unexpected, I'm guessing. 不慮 or let's look it up. Let's look it up. 不慮. Sometimes I don't know what's a good 不慮. Is it 不慮? No, I messed up. 不慮. Unexpected, unforeseen, sudden. 不良な事故 a sudden accident or an unforeseen accident 大親友が and that friend well 不良の事故で due to a unexpected accident due to a sudden accident
亡くなってしまったんですよ。
亡くなってしまったんですよ。亡くなる means to pass away. It is a polite way to say die. You wouldn't say 死んだ here. It would be very direct, okay? 亡くなってしまった. Now, てしまう, we don't learn until book 5, but てしまう means unfortunately, or no one could control it, or ended up. It has all of those possible meanings. Ended up dying due to the accident, right? で is a continuation word. で and then.
で、本当に家族ぐるみで仲良かったんですね。
本当に家族ぐるみで仲良かったですね。He really was 家族ぐるみ means the entire family で仲良かったですね。Let's look up 仲良い。There it is. 仲いい close, intimate, good terms. With the entire family, like everyone loved this guy.
っていうのも、この方ご結婚されてるんですけど。
というのも、and saying that, well, この方 this person ご結婚されてるんですけども she's married. Okay? This けでも here is just providing this background information of, so yeah, this person I've been talking about, this girl, she's married. ご結婚 a little bit more politeness with this go in front.
旦那さんがいらっしゃるんですね。
旦那さんがいらっしゃるんですね。She has a husband. 旦那さんも the husband as well.
この大親友と仲が良くて。
この大親友と仲が良くて he had a great relationship also as well with this great friend.
一緒に仕事してるぐらい。
So much 一緒に仕事してるぐらい that they worked together even.
本当に友達っていうか。
本当にreally like 友達っていうか more than a friend 友達っていうか even though normally you would say 友達 to you より here which would mean like more than saying they're a friend 友達っていうか is it like friend and he's gonna say something else
親友超えて
is great 超える means to go over above 親友 best friend 本当に家族の一員と思って接してたんです
本当に家族の一員と思って接してたんです。
接する is to be together with somebody, or let's look it up. 接する is to have contact with. I'm not sure if there's a better 接する to touch, to come in contact with, border, join, be. Give me a word. There's no. They deal with is probably the best way. To see them as. That's good. I would go with that. They see him as 家族の一員. A member of their family going above and beyond what would be a 親友。親友超えて本当に家族の一員と思って接してたんです。
本当に家族の一員と思って接してたんです。それが不慮の事故で亡くなっちゃったんですね。
それが不慮の事故で亡くなっちゃったんですね。And that guy 不慮の事故 with that unexpected accident で due to that 亡くなっちゃったんですね。Passed away. So here he's setting up the story.
その方が。
So その方が is him saying that person died in an unexpected accident. All right, if you want to watch the rest of this story, if your curiosity has been piqued, go to Yoshi Abirukai channel and watch this. They're a fun channel.
大した話ではないのですが、職場の同僚にあなたは明日世界が滅びるとしても歯磨きをしそうって言われたことがあります。
All right, that's a lot of stuff to take in. Let's go back.
大した話ではないのですが。
大した話ではないのですか? This is not really an important thing to say. 大した話, an important thing. ではないのですか? This is like saying ではない is like じゃない, okay? ですが, however.
職場の同僚にあなたは明日世界が滅びるとしても。
職場の同僚に what is 同僚? Here's that one. All of this just for that one word, guys. 同僚, coworker, colleague. 職場 means place of work. A colleague at my place of work に by that person あなたは明日世界が滅びるとしても even if the world was going to be destroyed tomorrow, let's look up to go to ruin, to go under, to be destroyed, to die out, to become extinct. Even if the world were going to end tomorrow, あなたは you 明日世界が滅びるとしても even if the world was going to end tomorrow
明日世界が滅びるとしても歯磨きをしそうって言われたことがあります。
歯磨きをしそう means it seems like you would brush your teeth All of this is now the quote. 言われたことがあります。I have been told by a colleague at work that you, even if the world were going to end tomorrow, I think you would brush your teeth.
それはもう磨きますよね。
Well, yeah. それはもう磨きますよね。Yeah, I would brush them.
どうだろう。
Now, she was reading up here. Now she's thinking for herself. どうだろう? I wonder. どうだろう? I wonder. Like, what would I do?
でも本当に滅びるかわからないですもんね。
でも本当に滅びるかわからないですもんね。I'm so glad we learned this grammar and we can watch it live. I didn't search for this grammar, but it's right here. We learned this already. 滅びるかわからない means we're not sure if it's going to be destroyed or not. We don't really know, right? So she says up here, 磨かないかも. I might not brush them.
あら。
And she's like, あら. Whoa. Oh my gosh. This is Hiroyuki. He's very popular. My wife absolutely loves Hiroyuki. He might as well be her boyfriend, how much she listens to his stuff. I don't know if he was a good person, to be honest with you. If you listen to what he says here, maybe he was a bad person when he was younger. He seems to be a really stand-up guy now that is very knowledgeable and is huge on YouTube.
これはやってもしょうがないなっていうのがあって、
これはやってもしょうがない. Even if I do this, it's hopeless. There's no good that'll come out of it. なっていうのがあって. So yeah, it was like, even if I did this, there's nothing going to come out of it.
なので、その万
なので、so therefore,
引きは僕しなくなったんですよ。
万引きは僕はしなくなったんですよ. I stopped 万引き, shoplifting. He stopped shoplifting because he wasn't going to get anything good out of it, okay? なので, that's right. なので, therefore, yeah. He's speaking very friend to friend, okay? He's still live streaming, but you'll see that he's speaking in a very friendly way. なので、そう. Yeah, so like, 万引きは僕しなくなったんですよ. So I stopped doing 万引き, shoplifting.
で、その後
He says あの a ton as well.
なんですよ。で、その後
で、and, then, or and, その後, after that, that's an in Japanese.
ググってもらえばわかるんですけど、
ググってもらえばわかるんですけど, if you Googled it, you would understand. So apparently, he's so famous that this is out there in Google somewhere, okay, what he's getting ready to say. You notice that they took Google and made it their own verb as well as the way we say if you Googled it, Guguru literally is the verb to Google. ググってもらえば, if I have you Google it.
高校の同級生の高橋君の自転車のサドルを盗むとか、
高校の同級生. What is 同級生? We know that say is student, therefore this has to be classmate. 高校の同級生. My classmate from high school, my high school classmate の高橋君. Takahashi, my high school classmate の自転車のサドルを. If you look at this whole thing, the verb that he's talking about is 盗む, which means to steal. Okay? Steal. The thing that he steals is marked with O. Everything before this is the thing that he stole. Okay? And it's all modified up to this point. So, what did he steal? Asadoru. Asadoru is a bike seat, literally saddle. Okay? They call their bike seats saddles. I think we do in English too, don't we call those saddles? Anyway, what saddle did he steal? A bicycle saddle. Takahashi's bicycle saddle. Right? Classmate Takahashi's bicycle saddle. High school classmate Takahashi's bicycle saddle. So he's saying if you look up on Google, you would see it like do things like. That's what the toka does here. It's one representative thing. It's like and or, okay? So it's things like stealing my high school classmate Takahashi's bicycle seat.
高校の同級生の高橋君の自転車のサドルを盗むとか、犯罪にならない、万引きにならないことはやるようになりました。
犯罪にならない、万引きにならないことをやるようになりました。So he stopped doing things like stealing seats from his friend. He's referring to the fact that he would steal his friend's bicycle seat, and that is not considered a crime. It doesn't become a crime, and it isn't shoplifting. I would say that stealing someone's bicycle seat is a crime, but maybe because it's his friend's seat, he doesn't see it that way.
犯罪にならない、万引きにならないことはやるようになりました。
Yeah, so he ended up doing things like stealing seats from bicycles, which isn't really a crime and isn't shoplifting.
そうだからね、万引きで成功してたらね、僕も立派な金塊強盗になったかもしれないですけどね。そうだからね。
So yeah, so that's why 万引きで成功してたらね、if I was successful with shoplifting, 僕も I also 立派な金塊強盗. 金塊 is gold bullion, a gold bullion thief. I don't know why he says kinkai goto. I don't know if that's like something that's in the Japanese mindset. Like, I don't think we would say, you know, if I had gotten good at shoplifting, I'd be like an amazing gold bullion thief at this point. Maybe there's a TV show that influences the way he thinks. Like, there's a lot of things that culture influences what you say in Japanese. And I'm going to give you a really, really popular one, okay? I want you to imagine aliens came to Earth, okay? If aliens came to Earth, in America, in American movies, the meme might be, we say, take me to your leader. Aliens come, they meet you. The old 1950s way of thinking would be, take me to your leader. But if Japanese were going to do a meme on aliens coming to Earth, they don't say, take me to your leader. They go, ware wa uchujin desu. Now, to be fair, I don't know if modern Japanese people do this. It's possible that it's already been too much time has passed, and now there's a new meme that I'm not aware of. But when I lived in Japan, they would say, ware wa uchujin desu. We are aliens. We are aliens. And they would do that probably, I think, because some popular comedian group did it. And so it's in their mind. So that's what I'm saying. Maybe he's saying kinkai goto, a thief or a robber of gold bullion cubes. Maybe there's something in Japanese culture, television or, you know, comedians or radio. I don't know. Could be something that he's using that particular phrase from there. So I don't know why he said that. So if I had succeeded at shoplifting, I as well would be rippa, a great kinkai goto になったかもしれない. I might have become.
だからね、万引きで成功してたらね、僕も立派な金塊強盗になったかもしれないですけどね。まあ普通に犯罪なんですよね。
I mean, that's a normal criminal. I would just be a normal criminal.
そうそう、だからお天道様も見てるしね。
お天道様も見てるしね。He's saying, now, 天道様 is another way to say God? Not really God, but like the heavens are watching, okay? So the heavens are watching, you know, so 見てるしね. When they use she, by the way, that's like a supporting fact about why he stopped. Like, he doesn't want to be criminal stuff, right? He doesn't want to do shoplifting, and, you know, God's watching. He's just adding additional fact. お天道様. I did not know this word お天道様 until he said it.
そうそう、だからお天道様も見てるしね。なので、こう、
Therefore,
割とやるべきではないなっていうのもあったので、
割とやるべきではないなっていうのがあったんで、and there was like a, yeah, I probably shouldn't do this thing. He's very much speaking casual. So he's not completing the entire, what's what I'm looking for? He's not repeating like the topic over and over again. Like this is very fuzzy if you don't know what the topic was. Warito and relatively yaru beki de wa nai na. It's not really something I should be doing. っていうのがあって、there was that what? You know, there was that fact that this is something that I relatively warito yaru beki de wa nai. I shouldn't do. A thing that I shouldn't be doing. And therefore,
なんでサドルを盗むの?
So why do I steal the saddle, the bicycle seat? I mean, it's a good question. And why is that somehow not the same as shoplifting? I don't know.
これは何回も言ってると思うんですけど、
これも何回も言ってると思うんですけども、I think I've said this many times before.
僕の自転車のサドルがなんかこう
僕の自転車のサドルがなんかこう these are all filler words. なんかこう he's thinking about what he's saying and he uses these words. The thing about watching people speak raw Japanese that's great is you get to hear these type of words and you don't get those words when you're watching anime or when you're watching a Japanese drama because those have scripts and people are following those scripts. The voice actors aren't going to stumble around on their words unless they're trying to show that their character is being nervous. 僕の自転車のサドルがなんかそう like my bicycle seat it was like
僕の自転車のサドルがなんかこう傷つけられて
it had gotten damaged.
サドルに穴が開いてて
and there was a hole in the saddle.
雨が降ると
when it rains
このスポンジにこう水が染みってしまって嫌だなと思ってて
I thought I didn't like it when it rained and in that sponge, another filler word, 水が染みてしまって and water ended up soaking into it. 染みる let's look up 染みる I think it just means soaked in. Pierce, penetrate, soak in. Permeate. Oh, that's a good word. He has a hole in his seat and when it rained, it got wet.
で高2の時に北園高校で池袋で飲み会をしてる時に
This shows me that he definitely was not a good child because he says, and 高2の時に when I was in second year of high school, which is 11th grade because Japanese 12th grade is kosan. They only have 3 years of high school. We have 4. When I was in 11th grade at Kitazono Koko, I think he said Kitazono, let's listen.
北園高校で、
Yeah, when I was at Kitazono High School, 池袋で飲み会をしている時に when we were having a drink meetup. So this guy was drinking when he was in high school. That's definitely not allowed. So he was a punk kid.
池袋で飲み会をしてる時に、で飲み会の後になんかみんなでこうわちゃわちゃダラダラしてる時に、
飲み会の後 after the drink meetup なんか something like みんなわちゃわちゃダラダラしてる時に when everyone was just like hanging around. Let's look up wacha wacha. What is wacha wacha? Like chatterboxing? I don't know. Wacha wacha? Chattering. Chatterboxing. Is that a word? Chit-chatting. Prattle. Oh, for ladies, it's prattle. Is that a lady only word? I didn't know prattle was a lady only word. So wacha wacha. Dara dara. Dara dara means to just like loiter, like to hang around in one spot. Dripping trick. What is it? Slug. Where is the word? Is there loiter in here? It's loitering. Honestly, it's like leisurely. Not not in a rush, okay? So when everyone was not in a rush, just kind of hanging around chilling after the meetup.
自転車がいっぱい並んでるとこで、
自転車がいっぱい並んでるとこで in the spot where all of the bicycles were lined up, where many bicycles were lined up.
これサドルあるじゃん。
これサドルあるじゃん。Oh yeah, hey, there's a saddle.
買いを取ろうと思って。
これ買いを取ろうと思って。I thought, oh, let me get a replacement for mine.
サドル取って。
And I took the saddle.
で、自分の自転車をサドルと交換しようと思ったら、
で、自分の自転車の座るところを交換しようと思ったら、now, I had a little bit of a debate with my wife. She thought he was saying saddle again, but we played it over and over again. I'm pretty sure he's saying 座るところを交換しようと思ったら、and when I tried to exchange 交換 the part where I sit off my bicycle, I might start up a Patreon again and put every time that I go through these with my wife as a separate video. So you might have seen me clipping into me and my wife debating certain things. That full clip will be on the Patreon if I get my Patreon together by the time this video comes out. I'll link the Patreon in the description. Any support you give helps. But if you really want to support, just join FromZero.com. It's $12 a month. If anything, you should get a free account on there so that if a special comes up, you'll get notified, you'll see the banner, and you can join, all right? For a cheaper price. Sometimes we do that. Not a lot, but we do it every now and then.
取って、で自分の自転車をサドルと交換しようと思ったら、
He might have said saddle there.
で自分の自転車をサドルと交換しようと思ったら、
he almost said saddle tokoro in my mind right now.
取ってで自分の自転車をサドルと交換しようと思ったら、
All right, anyway, when he tried to change whatever, the saddle or the thing that he sits on.
このパイプのサイズが違ってて、
パイプのサイズが違ってて、the pipe size was wrong.
そのサドルが入らなかったんですよ。
そのサドルが入らなかったんですよ。That saddle wouldn't go on.
なんで入んねえじゃんっつってこう捨てといて、サドルが入らなかったんですよ。なんで入んねえじゃんっつってこう捨てといて。
And I'm like, oh man, it doesn't go on. And I threw it away. 捨てておいて。He threw it away.
で、元に戻して。
And I put mine back on. 元に戻す means to put back in the original position, his own seat.
で、じゃあみんなで解散っていう時に高橋くんが。
で、and じゃあみんなで解散っていう時に and at the time where we all said, okay, free 解散 means for all of us to go to our own way. Sometimes at the end of an event, like you don't know when it's going to end, everyone will say, hi, 解散, all right, we're done. We leave. You're free to go. So he says, when everyone left on their own accord, Takahashi-kun, his friend,
俺の自転車のサドルがないって騒ぎ出して、
he got all freaked out that his saddle was gone. Let's go up 騒ぎ出す. 騒ぎ出す. To start making a noise, to make an uproar, to go berserk. Yes, he went crazy that his bicycle seat was gone. そこにあるよって言って、and I said, hey, it's over there.
そこにあるよって言って、取ろうとしたら合わなかったから捨てたって言ったら。
And when I said to him, when I tried to take it, it didn't match up, and I threw it away.
びっくりしてました。
He was really surprised. Like, why would you even admit that? I wouldn't admit that. If I was the kind of guy that's going to steal my friend's bicycle seat and then throw it away, at a minimum, you know what I would do? I would try to steal it. If it fit, I would keep it. If it didn't fit, I would put it back on. Either way, he's going to notice that you got his seat, don't you think?
残る2人。
残る2人. The remaining two. So let's read some of the stuff on the screen here. Okay, so this is in Aichi Prefecture. This building has collapsed for some reason. I believe there was an earthquake. Okay, this is super recent news. You can see it's from August 29th. Okay, Dansei 70 dai. There's that dai word. Remember, donendai means the same 10-year period, right? 70 dai means 70s man, and dansei 30s man. Right now, even now, iki umeka, they are buried alive. Nokoru 2人. Everyone that they've found, these are the two that they have not found yet.
その救助活動の様子を見守っていたのは70代の男性の高校の同級生。
The one who was, let's look up Mimamoto, was like stand by and watch. Like Mimamoto is like to look and protect. I'm not sure what a good English word would be for that. Mimamoto. Ooh, I wrote that wrong. Mimamoto, sorry. To watch over, to keep an eye on. Watch intently is also good. Mimamoto. Okay, great word. Sono kyujo katsudo. Kyujo katsudo is like things that they're doing to save. Relief. Katsudo is activities, okay? Katsudo. Activities. So relief activities. Yosu. Yosu is the goings on, what's happening, state of affairs. Yes, circumstances. Yes. So what this whole thing means is the person who is keeping a key eye on the state of affairs of the relief activities is, look at all of these no. These are all modifying dokyusei.
の様子を見守っていたのは70代の男性の高校の同級生。
So this is the classmate, the high school classmate of the 70-year-old man. Because remember, there's a 70-year-old man and a 30-year-old man that are still buried alive.
話をると、行くやつが言ってるわね。
I'm not gonna lie, me and my wife, when we first saw this, both laughed very hard because we had no idea what he was saying.
話をると、行くやつが言ってるわね。
あんたも分かんなかったでしょ。そんな感じだか。
話をると、行くやつが
行くやつら聞こえてる。
違うよ。行くふめとらって言ってんだよ。
言ってるわね。それも早くね。
He is very much from Aichi Prefecture, I'm guessing, and he's speaking very dialectually. Like, this is not anything I've ever heard. It sounds as bad as Tsugaruben. I was up in Aomori, the northern part of Japan, but I know that one. I can kind of grab that stuff. I can't grab this. Even though it's on the screen, it says, Hanashi o kiku to yukue fumei to itteiru. When you hear what they're saying that they're missing. Hayaku, and he doesn't finish what he's saying. Hayaku, I hope they soon mitsukatte hoshii, want them to find them, which they add for him. But listen to that again, see if you can hear any of that.
話をると、行くやつが言ってるわね。
1分がやつら1分ないね。No idea what he said.
そして今からおよそ1時間ほど前。
And 今からおよそ from this time forward, approximately 1 hour previously. I don't know what happens, guys. I didn't keep recording after that. I'm hoping they found them. Let's just be very positive and hope that they were found. If you want to know what happens, guys, you have to go to NTV News and find this.
なんだ、お前の知り合いなのか。
なんだ、お前の知り合いなのか。What? So they're your acquaintances? お前, referring to him in a rude way. お前の知り合いなのか. Speaking rough. It's anime. They do that. So what? They're your acquaintances? Chi is a word you use when you get caught.
Kisama.
You. Let's look up Kisama. I don't know. It's vulgar way to say you, I'm guessing. I'm guessing that's what it's going to say. I haven't never looked up Kisama. You bastard. You son of a... Apparently at one point it was polite language. Archaically polite.
Washira o hameyotta ka.
Washira o hameyotta ka.
Kisama. Washira o hameyotta ka.
Hameru means to frame somebody. You trapped us. I'm actually not sure if hame oru is going to be in the dictionary. Hame oru. I don't think it will be. Well, hameru is, okay. Let's see if we can find pigeonholed, force, entrapped. There it is. That's what I was looking for. Deceived us.
ガキどもにわしらを襲わせたな。
ガキどもにわしらを襲わせたな. So you had the brats, the gakidomo, the brat kids. Washira is a way to say us. Osowaseru. Osou means to attack. Osou. To attack, assail, right? Osowaseru is to have them It's causative. He causatively had them attack them. You caused them to attack us.
言ったろ
I told you. 言ったろ
お前らを信用しねえって
お前らを信用しねえって that I don't trust you guys. All of the speech back and forth between these characters is very disrespectful.
僕の知り合い、友達に
あとは and also 僕の知り合い my acquaintance 友達に well friend. So he restated it. That's what this ma is doing. But it's very light. My acquaintance, friend is what he's saying.
脳監視をやってる方がいて
脳監視をやってる方がいて脳監視 is a word that I had to look up. No means to put in. Kan means into a tube, but it's like I'm sure no, it's not the same kan, sorry. It's kan is a coffin. I don't think no kan shi comes up. I think no kan comes up though. Not brainstem, not the no flute. Placing a coffin in a body. Now, what the she part is doing is just saying that that's a person. It's like it's the she in kyoshi. Kyoshi is a professor. She is a way of addressing a person, okay? So this is a person that is a person who puts the body in the coffin.
そうその脳監視さんから聞いたお話なんですけど
その脳監視さんから聞いたお話なんですけど and this is a story that I heard from the coffin body inputter person. Is there another? I don't know if there's another way to say that in English.
僕結構怖い話好きなんで
僕結構怖い話好きなんで because I really like scary stories.
結構なんかそういう怖い現場みたいなのあったって話をよく聞くんですけど
And quite a lot I hear that there's these such a scary gemba is like a location みたいなのがあったって話をよく聞くんです I often hear such things.
なんかその人曰く
Now he says その人と曰く but that's not correct. So I didn't keep that in my subtitle. その人曰く This kanji looks like it's Nichi, but it's not. It's a whole different kanji. It's not connected here. So just keep that in mind. Iwaku means according to what that person said. その人曰くあんまり怖いって思うことがなくて
あんまり怖いって思うことはなくて
あまり怖いと思うことがなくて Me and my wife had a massive disagreement on what he was saying here. I want you to hear this more than once and then watch that part. Right after this, I'm going to show you me and my wife debating this, but just watch. Can you hear 思うことがなくて here?
その人曰くあんまり怖いって思うことはなくて
I could not hear it. Here's me and my wife debating it.
あんまり怖いって思うことはなくて
思うことがなくて
その人曰くあんまり怖いって思うことはなくて
ことって言ってないよでも
いやことって言ってるってさ
待ってなんか
その人曰くあんまり怖いって思うことはなくて
思う
あんまり怖いって思うことがなくてって言ってるよ
ことじゃないじゃんじゃ
あんまり怖いって思うことがなくてって言ってるよ
なんかその人曰くあんまり怖いって思うことはなくて
思うのはなくて
思うことがなくて
私ことは聞こえてない
なんかその人曰くあんまり怖いって思うことはなくて
思うのだなくて
いやあんまり
聞
いてあんまり怖いって思うことがなくて
思うのがなくてじゃないの
違う思うことがなくてって言ってる
待って思うのがなくてと思って聞いて
怖いって思うことはなくて
思うことがなくて
どこにこと足りない字余って字余りの反対が分かんない
私の言ってるの聞いてあんまり怖いって思うことがなくて
ことだったらいいよ私も聞こえるそれだってでも聞こえてない
思うことはなくて
ことって言ってるじゃん
待って
ことはなくてただ思うことはなくて思うことはなくて
おがなくて
思うことはなくて思うことはなくて
待って
思うことはなくて思うことはなくて
どこにことがあんねんない
言ってます
But what that means is according to that person there's nothing that really is scary to them
あんまり怖いって思うことはなくてただどちらかというとその家族の最後
どちらかというと This is like how do you translate どちらかというと If you ask me which of the two どちらかという If anything if I had to say if I had to say I don't know if that works here as a good translation. Sometimes you just drop stuff. 家族の最後 Now 最後 normally when you write 最後 it's written like this and it means last, okay? But when you say 最後 with that kanji it means final moments. Literally final moment right before death, okay? So in the final moments of a family member
に立ち会うので
because she is there for the final moments of a family member.
そのちょっとハートフルな感じに
She wants to make it like a heartful thing. Kanji, like make it more heartful, more like a good thing instead of a scary thing. And that's where that ends. I apologize. If you've gotten this far, this one's going to be the longest one. I know you're tired, but this is what you have to do to learn Japanese. You got to go through a lot of native stuff. I'm like training wheels for you. I'm showing you how it's done. I'm showing you how we can look up words. I'm showing you how we can analyze sentence structure. Okay. If you have to retype the whole thing and put it in Google Translate or use ChatGPT to give you explanations as well, you can do that. It's okay. Even if you sloppily go through this and only learn 1 out of 10 things that you see, it's okay, because the next time you'll do it, you'll learn another 1 out of 10, and then you'll know 2 of 10. And eventually, if you do it 10 times, you'll know 10 of 10. And you'll keep adding words to your discovery log that we talked about earlier. And if you have enough discoveries, enough mistakes, and enough embarrassments, you'll be fluent in Japanese. So let's go through this next. I'm going to tell you, I think, very interesting, scary story in celebration of it being very close to Halloween. Let's go ahead and look at this.
もう10年以上前なんですけど、
もう10年以上前なんですけども、this is already more than 10 years ago.
同僚が殺害されたらしいんですね。
Apparently, yeah, that's what they got. らしいんです。らしい means apparently their coworker was murdered. So this is something he's hearing from someone else, okay? He's not relaying a first-person story. He's relaying what someone told him. We know that 100% only at this point because of the rashi. If we go here and look at this again, もう10年以上前なんですけども. So yeah, this is like over 10 years ago. We don't know if he's talking about himself at this point.
なんですけど、同僚が殺害されたらしいんです。
If it was his own coworker getting killed, he would have said, 同僚が殺害されたんですよ. My coworker got killed. But he's saying, apparently their coworker got killed.
自宅で。
自宅で at their residence.
で別になんか手前でなんか逃げてたとか会社ばっくれてたとかも何事もなく。
別になんか手前で and it's not like before that.
なんか逃げてたとか。
なんか逃げてたとか like he was running away from something.
会社ばっくれてたとかも。
会社ばっくれてたとか or he was like skipping out on company. Wasn't missing days at work. 何事もなく。
何事もなく。
There was nothing that had happened. Like nothing was happening to this person.
朝帰ってきて納車して。
He returned in the morning with his taxi, right? 納車して returned the car.
じゃあ帰るねっつって帰って家で殺されていた。
じゃあ帰るっつって言って he said he's gonna go home. He went home. 家で殺されたって言ったと. And she said, and the person then said, okay, I'm gonna go home, he said, and got home and was killed at his house.
でじゃあ帰るねっつって帰って家で殺されていたと。でなんだろうなって言ってもちろん。
なんだろうなって言って and they're like, what?
警察は会社の方に調べに来たんですけれども。
もちろん警察は会社の方に調べに来たんですけれども。And of course, the police, they went over to the company to investigate.
もう何も誰も知らないんですよ。
何も誰も知らないんですよ。But nobody knows anything.
俺ら普通に働いてるから。
俺ら働いてるから。Because we were working.
まあそうですよね。
Of course.
でそれからちょっとして。
And a little bit time after that, それから from that point forward, ちょっとして、ちょっとする in this case means a little bit time passes.
亡くなった同僚の方が、
and the coworker that had passed away,
その運転手さんの夢枕に立ったそうなんです。
その運転手さんの that driver. Now we know now that the driver is the person telling the story that he's in the taxi of, okay? I can tell by the way he's saying that. その運転手さんの夢枕に立った。夢枕に立つ literally means to stand at a dream pillow, but it means to appear in someone's dream. He uses this phrase a lot. 夢枕に立つ. So, 夢枕に立ったそうなんですよ. And apparently, the coworker that died appeared in that driver's dream.
出てきて。で、
出てきて means he came out and
俺は殺された。
I was murdered. 俺は殺された。
お前らのすぐ近くのやつに。
お前らのすぐ近くのやつに。Somebody, a guy who is really close to you guys in proximity.
俺は殺された。お前らのすぐ近くのやつに。
I was killed by someone who's close to you.
ずーっと言ってくるらしいんです。
ずっと言ってくるらしいんですけど、because he's relaying the story, he's using this らしい again. Apparently, he kept saying that.
金縛りで口も動かなくて。
金縛りで口も動かなくて。金縛り means to be tied down, okay? But it really is what we say in English, sleep paralysis. It's that sleep where you can't say anything, or you can't move and you can't talk. You're aware of what's happening, but you can't move at all. So 金縛りで, that being the reason, 口も動かなくて, their mouth not being able to move.
もうそれを聞くことしかできないんですよ。
それを聞くことしかできないんですよ。The only thing they can do is listen.
どうすればいいかなと
どうすればいいかなと
思った頭の中で。
思った頭の中で So, what can I do thinking in their head?
誰なんだそいつは。
Who is that person?
運転手か会社で働いてる事務員か。
運転手か Was it a driver? 会社で働いてる事務員か Was it an office worker that worked at the company? Like, who did the killing?
誰なんだお前のこと殺したのは。
誰なんだ Who is it? お前のことを殺したのは Who killed you?
頭の中で強く願った時に
And when he was thinking that, or requesting, 願う means to wish that he could ask that, right? Inside of his head strongly, he wished that.
ピタッと口が止まって
His mouth just stopped.
のとこで目が覚めちゃったらしい。
のとこで目が目覚めちゃったらしいですよ。Apparently, they woke up at that moment when he was thinking, who killed you?
で分かんなかったんですよ、犯人。
分からなかったです、犯人。And they didn't learn who it was. They didn't know who it was. 犯人。The person who did the crime, the criminal.
誰だろうな
誰だろうなと思って thinking, I wonder who it is.
と思って、多分すごい体験した。
多分すごい体験した。I probably have had an amazing experience.
初めてお化け見たぞ、多分。
初めてお化け見たぞ。I saw a ghost for the first time. Zoe is showing that kind of excitement about that. 多分 maybe って言って saying that 会社行って he went to the company
って言って会社行っていや昨日よって
and he's like hey man yesterday
喫煙所でみんなに言ってたら
he's like to everyone in the 喫煙所 is the place where you're allowed to smoke the smoking area 喫煙所のみんなに言ってたら he said to everybody yo man like yesterday
俺も見たんだよ
they were like I saw it too 俺も見たんだよ
って人がちょっといたらしいんですね
Apparently, there was some people that had also said they had seen it too. Not a lot.
もちろんほとんどの人にはバカにされたんですけど。
もちろんほとんどの人にバカにされたんですけど。Of course, the majority of the people ridiculed him. バカにする is to ridicule. バカにされたんだけど means to have been ridiculed. Of course, the majority of the people, he was ridiculed by them.
数人、俺の夢枕にも立ってさ。
数人、several people, 俺の枕にもin my dream as well, たったさって言って they said, yeah man, he was also in my dream as well, a few people said.
マジかよ、なんつって。
Are you serious? マジかよ、なんつってた What did he say?
あと俺たちの身近に殺したやつがいるって。
He said that it was someone nearby us that killed, someone in our 身近に someone in our close relations that killed him.
言ってたよなっていう話が出たんですけど。
So that kind of thing came out and
それは証拠にはなんないの。
それは証拠にはならないので but because that doesn't become proof 証拠にはならない that can't be used as proof
で、まあ使うことはできず
まあ使うことはできず not being able to use it
で会社でもまあ気のせいだよって言われたんですけど
even in the company 会社でもまあ hey 気のせいだよ気のせい means your imagination it's just your imagination he was told と言われたんですけど
一人だけ彼他に何か言ってませんでしたかって聞いてきた運転手さんがいたらしいんですね。
一人だけは彼 just one person he 他に何か言ってませんでしたか didn't he say anything else って聞いてきた運転手さんが言ったらしいんですよ。Apparently there was one driver who asked hey was there anything else that he said
でそれは殺されちゃった人の親友だったらしいんですよ。
それは殺されちゃった人の親友だったらしいんですよ。Apparently, he was, there's that word we're looking for, 親友, the best friend of the person who ended up getting killed.
まあ一緒にパチンコ行ったりとか、他協定とかも行くぐらい、休日も遊ぶぐらい仲良かった運転手さん。この
So they would play pachinko with each other. They would go to boat races together. They would hang out on their days off. That's how good of a friend they were.
この人だけはどうしても彼が誰に殺されたのかを知りたいから。
この人だけはどうしても彼が誰に殺されたのかを知りたいから It was only this person that no matter what wanted to know who this person was killed by.
たとえ
For example, even if it's the occult.
あると、まあ幽霊が出たっていう話だったとしても俺は聞きたいんだ。
even if it was the occult or if a ghost appears という話だったとしても even if that's the case 俺は聞きたいんだと言って he said I want to hear it
って言って夢に出たんだよっていう人たちの話を真剣に聞いて回ってたそうなんです。
夢に出たんだよっていう人たちの話を真剣に聞いて回ってたそうなんです。He went around and seriously listened to everybody who said that the man came in his dream. So he was very much investigating the whole thing. He had a lot of curiosity into who killed him because he was his best friend.
で、その人も言ったらしいんですよ。
And apparently that person said himself, I saw him in my dream and he said the same thing to me that he was killed by somebody close by.
犯人誰って言ってました。
And they asked him like, well, who did he say it was?
それが分かんなかったんで、犯人
And I didn't know who it was. それが分からなかったんで because I didn't know that 言うかなと思ったところで目覚めちゃってさ because I woke up at the spot he was going to tell me who it was.
それが分かんなかったんで、犯人言うかなと思ったところで目覚めちゃってさって。
So that's the person that's the best friend that said that.
そうですか、分かりました。
Understood.
まあみんな似たような感じだったらしいんです。
So everyone was a similar feeling of what they said about their dreams. They had similar experiences. 似たような感じだったらしい apparently.
そこからちょっと経って別の夢枕にその同僚が立ったんだよって言っていたうちの一人の運転手が殺害されたんです。
All right, that is a long thing that he said, okay? そこからちょっと経って a little bit of time passed from that point. 別の夢枕にその同僚が立ったんだよって言っていたうちの一人 one of the drivers who had said that the coworker that had been killed, that he appeared in another dream が殺害されたんです was murdered as well.
言っていたうちの一人の運転手が殺害されたんです。
What? So in other words, out of all the people that said he was in the dream,
そこからちょっと経って別の夢枕にその同僚が立ったんだよって言っていたうちの一人の運転手が殺害されたんです。
So of all the people that saw that coworker in the dream, one of the guys was murdered.
で、この殺害した犯人っていうのが
And the person who killed him was?
みんなに話を聞いて回ってた最初の被害者の親友の人。
みんなに話を聞いて回ってた最初の被害者の親友の人だった was the best friend of the first victim who went around asking everybody those questions. It was the best friend of the guy that got murdered.
結局自分が
in the end 自分が殺したということがバレるのが怖くて
みんなに聞いて回っていた。
So he went around and asked everybody those questions because he was worried about getting caught for the murder.
で、この時点で怖かったんですけど、
この時点では怖かったんですけど it was already scary at this point. But
僕はこの後運転手さんが言った言葉がすごく
僕はこの後 and for me like after this 運転手さんが言ったことがすごく what the driver said after this, he's in the taxi of this driver that's telling the story about his friend that got killed. What he said scared me. Now I don't know what he says. We couldn't figure out what he says after this because these guys overtalk him.
この後運転手さんが言った言葉がすごく
すごく blah blah blah. We don't know what he said.
この後運転手さんが言った言葉がすごくそんなことって衝撃的でしたねみたいな。
そんなことって衝撃的でしたね。
話をしてたらまあね。
He says to the driver, the things you just said were pretty shocking. He says, and this is the response of that driver.
まあね、最初からタクシー運転手になりたい子供なんかいないですからね。
まあね、最初からタクシー運転手になりたい子供なんかいないですからね。There's no child that from the beginning thinks, I want to be a taxi driver. I love this whole section, by the way.
もともとはいろんな仕事してクビになったり会社そのものが潰れちゃったりとか堅気にはなれないような仕事してた人たちっていうのが流れ着くのがこういう職業ですから。
This whole line that he says here is so fun for me. This is how you become a taxi driver.
もともとはいろんな仕事して
originally you do a bunch of jobs クビになったり you get fired and whatnot 会社そのものが潰れちゃったりとか or the company itself perhaps fails
クビになったり会社そのものが潰れちゃったりとか堅気にはなれないような仕事してた人たちっていうのが流れ着くのがこういう職業です。
It's this occupation that people that do jobs that have no what's katagi isn't like a respectful work katagi honest respectful decent right katagi ni wa naranai yona shigoto work that isn't even respectful. It's these people that did jobs that weren't even respectful. They nagaretsuku, they flow into this type of job. Nagaretsuku. Drift into this job. No one chooses to be a taxi driver.
から一人殺すとね、そっから先はただの手段なんですよ。
一人を殺すと、if you kill one of them, そっから先はただの手段なんですよ。From that point forward, killing them is just a means to an end. In other words, there's no meaning behind the second killing, even though that first killing, there was some meaning to why that person got killed the first time, but in the end, the rest of it is just a means to an end of him trying to not get caught.
って言って、
He said that,
まあ僕の自宅に着いた。
and we arrived at my house.
っていう話。
うわ、いや、その車に運ばれるのも嫌やし。
その車に運ばれるのも嫌やし。This is again Kansai dialect. I don't want to be driven by that car or moved in that car even.
自宅特定されるのもマジで嫌よ。
自宅特定されるのもマジで嫌よ。I'm really wouldn't be happy if they even knew my house. 特定, what is 特定? Pointed out my house. 特定, I can't think of a good English for that. 自宅 is residence. 特定 is like, I think I'm going to go with that for now. 特定. Specify, specific, particular, designate. Yeah, identifying. There we go. I don't even want him to identify my house. All right, that's it, guys. That was my deep dive into crazy to go through that much just for those words. But if you were in Japan and you were watching Japanese TV, these type of shows might come on, or if you're watching a lot of YouTube, these type of things come up, and you won't know the entire context, but you might hear that one word. Well, now you kind of understand some of these channels' contexts. And if you like what you watched, if there's a particular Japanese voice that sounds good to you, subscribe to any of these channels. I promise, with all of these lesson videos this point forward, I'm going to really do my best to introduce you some interesting YouTube channels that can become fodder for your brain. You can just turn these on in the background and let them flow into your brain. And every now and then, you'll hear doryo, onaidoshi, donendai. You'll hear these words. That's it. See you next time. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you're not subscribed, please do that. I'm trying to get to 1 million subscribers. It's an impossible dream for me, but every day I'm going to work hard to get there. Ganbatte, you too. Bye-bye.